This is the Opel Vivaro 2020 edition. A little small introduction and a little test, short test. This is a brand new car, and this is the 9-seat XL version equipped with a diesel engine. As you can see, this is quite standard equipped. The plastic on the board, it seems to be too solid, no soft elements on it. We have a standard radio here. It doesn't really need it, but this is the basic radio. We have air condition, and we have an additional air condition at the rear. This is for the passengers, and this is an automated version that you can see there is no traditional gear anymore here. It's only this kind of electrical switch between the different positions. What we still have here, it's the setup for the radio and for the menu, and on the other side we have a tempomat equipment. This is also like an extra. If I'm looking to the feeling and also to the touch of the wheel, it's quite okay, quite comfortable. And if I'm looking also to the sets, that how we are able to set up the seats, it's quite comfortable, so that it's really, you can find your really good position to outlook on this car. The engine is 2-liter diesel, 122 horsepower, and as I said before, this is with automated gearbox. And it's very interesting that for the automated gearbox you got here a Formula 1 switchers on the wheel. On the right side, as standard, you can switch up, and on the left side you can switch down. I guess it's quite interesting for this kind of family van. This is absolutely senseless. I'm not using that switcher also in my private car. But anyway, this is a type of the operation, and this is type of favorite. But I guess from the Opel that this is somehow connected. So if you have an automated gearbox, probably you are getting this automatically to the wheels. Let's check the rear. So as I said, this is a 9-seat car. 3 in the front row, 3 in the second and in the third one. The first check, if we look for the used textiles, so this is a 2-type. In the middle we have a softer one, and also it's quite soft also in the side. But this is the basic equipment, also the same on the back of the seats. On the floor there is a quite standard plastic inside, and on the right and on the left side we can see the same plastic what we have seen on the board. If you want to step into the back seats, then you need to release this one seat here, and this is how you can enter. It's quite comfortable actually, and it's relative large space here to enter to the seats. Let's check how much space we have here. So as you can see, I'm sitting in the seat and I have here something like 10 centimeters. I'm actually 181 centimeters tall, so in that case it's quite nice space. Let's check this out at the rear. And as you can see, it's the same, more or less the same distance, so we can absolutely confirm that the space is good enough. In the rear side, the equipment and the extras are quite limited, but what we definitely have, this is extra air condition equipment here for the rear passengers. This is also an extra what you can choose to your Opel Vivaro. As you can see that there are some air lifting also to all the seats. It looks like an airplane. It's quite cool. And what we also have here in the rear, it is the lights, which I guess this is also a little bit extra if I'm looking to the standard type of cars. And of course the security is important for all the passengers, so that we see here the standard safety belts. And what is still interesting, especially for me, that this part at the rear rows, you can see that it's fully covered all the metal parts, so that we have here unfortunately the same plastic what we have seen on the board, plus we have here also the equipments and the covers for all the metal parts. But for the second row, you can still see the metal. This is not a door, this is a fixed panel, but it's very interesting that this is metal. Plastic on the rear and metal in the middle. So it's quite strange that it looks like a real covering everything at the front seats, sorry, and here also in the back, but not in the middle. Interesting. So let's check the rear part. As you can see, this is a double-sided door, quite comfortable, because you need a smaller place, like if the door is opening to the top. And as we can see that this XL version, which is 5.3 meter long, it gives huge space also for the luggages. So we have checked before that we have enough space for the passengers, plus we have enormous size of back space for the luggages. And also here you can release, these are the flexible chairs, so with the same flaps over there you can release them and pull towards all over, and in that case you can enlarge the space for the luggages. And as I told you before, so with the same plastic, unfortunately, but it's quite nice that it is already covered, so it looks like a normal car and doesn't look like a van like we really recognized at the middle part. Okay, after the external check and check the equipment, let's see how it's moving. No radio this time. Okay, so we release the brake and we are setting, as I said, it's a very fancy, cool electric switcher for the gearbox. We put in the number D and we are starting. So as I said that we already drove something like 200 kilometers with this car, so we have some experiences already, and it's moving really surprisingly nice, so that you know and you recognize all the time that you are sitting in a van, because you have a really uplifted sitting position, and it looks like a truck or a van, but it is combined with a personal car, with a middle-sized car effects. So for example, the very first impression and the very first surprise for me is that you can turn the wheel in the driving seat quite easily. It's like a city servo, and it's extremely easy. It's extremely easy compared to the size of the car. So basically the car looks quite good on the main road drive. Now we are around 90 km/h, and it seems to be quite stable and comfortable. The only real noise what we hear, it's coming from the air condition. The road noise, it's not that relevant because the quality of the road is quite okay. It's quite good. As I said, it's absolutely look like that you are definitely recognizing that you are in a van, but it seems to be like a normal car, like an Opel Astra. After this merge into PSA Group, Opel became a French company. If today in 21st century we can talk about anyway nations, then you are talking about these giant companies. But definitely in this Opel, I see the Opel characteristics here in the board, but I also feel the French taste. So also the shape of the air parts, and also just I cannot really recognize, I'm sorry, I cannot really describe, but I can recognize the French feeling at all. Increasing a little bit the speed. You still have the same comfort feeling. Does not really change anything. Really, really comfortable. It's really to a big family, like the typical buyers of this segment. The large families with 3-4 children, they can really, really well use this car. And the daddy here in front of the car can be absolutely sure that the family is in the safe conditions. So we finished the test, and what can we say? So that was also positive, and I had some negative emotions, but overall, if I would like to score it, this is mainly positive. So that this is a great car, a great van, especially for families with larger families with 3-4 kids. It's absolutely comfortable, practical, and pretty good for a daily life. Of course, if you want to reach also a personal car feeling or a high-speedy something, this is absolutely not for that. But for a daily life and for a transportation persons and for this kind of deliveries are absolutely okay. So I just can say this is a great car with great opportunities. Try this out.